Yes, 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 yes.
Kenco
That's freaking
saves
weird,
the
man.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, now you're the boss, man. You're running this show now.
Well, what are we talking about? Are we talking about? We're talking about whatever. No, it's good. It's good that I mean, for me, dude, I don't. I mean, I'll just start off by saying I don't really give a shit. I mean, I do, but I'm really more concerned on getting on here
What don't you give a
and
shit
talking
about,
about.
Ken?
I mean, just the normal, just the bullshit. I don't know. I never really liked engaging on. I'll fuck around a little bit with like the drain cleaning and the plumbing stuff, but I mean, the most part is, man, I like just getting on here. I like talking about like real stuff, like what's gonna help somebody, or personal development, things like that. Because that's really
That's
you
where it's
know
at, right? That's what
that's where it's at
matters.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's what
exactly what
matters.
matters.
So you're going to the Rigid Experience, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I've never been.
No, me either.
We had
Your
we
face
had a
would look good on one of the posters.
we got invited to the Canadian one. They had a Canadian one, which is basically the exact same thing. And I sent one of my kids
That's really cool.
and just said, "You go, man. Have a good time." Because it'll do nothing for me. Like I've seen all the Rigid stuff. I've used all the Rigid stuff. You know what I mean? We promote it as much as we can in the videos that we make. I don't need to go fishing and ride in a race car.
Right.
Do your kids work for you?
Both of them do, yeah.
They do. How many trucks you running?
We just have just the three. If you don't know the story, I'll give you the 30-second version. I had 18 guys, well, 18 employees, including office staff. We had 12 trucks. And in 2015, I just said, I'm done with it all. Fired everybody. What's that?
What was the reason you decided to cut it down?
You know, it was so stressful dealing with trying to get everybody the hours that they needed, right? Working with builders and contractors, taking on jobs that were risky just to keep everybody sort of employed.
Yep.
And knowing full well going into it, I'm like, man, this is going to be a fight right to the end. And which it absolutely would. You end up in court. And so, you gotta play your guys. So it literally comes out of your ass because nobody else is going to pay them. And then just dealing with like every personal problem that they had became my problem. Like if they, honestly, if they cheated on their girlfriend and the wife found out, then I get a phone call from, like these are real stories. I get a phone call from the wife saying you need to send all the checks to me because, he's going to owe me the alimony anyway, and getting a call from his lawyer and her lawyer. I'm like, dude, listen, I'm sending the check to him because he's my fucking employee. You guys fight it out. I'm not going to be in the middle of all this stupid shit, right? So it was sort of 16, 17 years of that. And I woke up one Saturday morning and just said, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. It's affecting my relationships with my family. And I phoned my lawyer and said, what do I need to do to fire everybody? And he wrote me up a fabulous little letter. The beautiful thing about construction up here in Canada is you don't really need a reason to let anybody go. I said it's a beautiful thing. I'm not sure it's a beautiful thing, but like you don't have any reason. You just be like, you're fucking fired. Why? Because I don't like your face. Mm-hmm. The end. And so, yeah, we had a bunch of taxi cabs show up for our Monday morning meeting, and I handed out the letters, and there were some salty feelings. There's no doubt about that, but it was really the best move I ever did. Sort of regain control of my life and my business, and we're going to have this year, looking at if our numbers sort of stay where they're at, I'll have my most profitable year ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with my 2 boys and me, and compared to 12 trucks and 18 dudes.
And
It's crazy to me.
What was your top line revenue with 18 guys?
We were close to the 5 mark. And out of that, the very first year I was in business, way back in whatever that was, 1989, I did $380,000 and kept $150,000 of it.
Exactly.
And they're like,
me. That's me.
and I'm
bro.
like, yeah, baby, I'm fucking killing it.
No,
And I did
yeah.
whatever that was, 2015, whatever, $5 million, and I kept $200K.
And you took on all the stress, all the sleepless nights.
Yeah.
All of wondering how you're going to pay your guys.
Yeah.
I had my first year. This is my second year in business, and I acquired a partner and all that, and we do excavation. You've probably seen it on our page. And we had like 8 guys. And the thing what you just said is taking on stuff that we had no business taking on when we knew it wasn't going to be good, just to keep guys busy. I have this new, we've cut down. We have the amount of employees. I have less trucks on the road, and we revenue more money now than we did when we had more people. I'm just more selective. I still bid on everything, and then I pick what I want to do.
Yeah.
We stick with the specialty stuff that we actually make money at. But that stress thing you're talking about, I definitely felt that my first year. Like, I had to go out and prove something. You know what I mean? I needed to be $1 million business my first year out. And to do that, get ready to put everything else in the back burner. I have guys ask Leon and I all the time, like, how do I go and start my own business? Well, do you know what it is to start your own business? Like, what are the things you need to get in line? Like, just showing up to a job and doing the work doesn't end there. You go home and then work some more.
Yeah.
But
you'll work till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then be back at it at 4 and still be behind.
Correct.
That was my life for 15 years.
And for me, it's still like, it can be still like that sometimes, because we're building something. But the main purpose of me going out, yes, I like being my own boss and having a company and stuff, but there's a difference between owning and running a company and owning your job.
Right. And that's where I'm at right now too, because I walked into it not knowing really anything about business. I didn't understand. I still don't. I'm still learning the whole doing taxes and everything, and getting finding like with what the best tax benefit was. But I mean, I had the same mentality like my first year, where like I am used to working for somebody. So now that I go off and I'm technically just like a sole proprietor, that extra, whatever gross was, it was like 350, 400 last year, was great. But, then like last month, because I had to pay a tax bill because I didn't have anything in order, I had to do bookkeeping and everything. It like my balance sheet from last month shows that I'm in the fucking hole because how much shit I had to pay. But that's it. And like, I'm
And
like,
Leon,
just
what was your tax bill?
It was 29,000, which that's a lot for me, dishing out that type of money. Yeah,
that's a real lesson right there.
For sure.
Like, to know that stuff. Like, no, there isn't like people teaching you that stuff. You got to have a mentor that can teach you that stuff.
Right, and that's just the estimate, bro. We haven't even filed taxes yet from last year. That was just a tax estimate. So, yeah.
So it's going to be more, because you're going to get interest and penalties, bro. Like, those guys are unrelenting dogs.
Yeah.
Unrelenting.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at right now is, I just like, I own the job, and I don't want it to, I'd like to be able to delegate, more stuff to, different people, because I had some, I know with what it takes to go out and do the work, but I'm also good at delegating that from, the company that I worked at and everything. We just need to stop paying them. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, just stop paying your taxes and let me know how that works out for you, bro. Like, that's going to be bad fucking news for everybody.
Yeah.
So, You're, how long you been at it, Ken?
6 years.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Not. Yeah.
On your
Yeah.
your own, you've been what, two
Since
years?
last year. Yeah. This the second year.
Second year, yeah.
And
Second year on your own.
that.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And
6 years.
that was
6 years with your ticket?
no. I got my. Right when I got my. Right when I got my ticket, that's when I started the business. Like I had the LLC already formed
Oh,
and everything. This was like a thing that I had, like and this is what like this is what like something that like pisses me off, but it's like been very frustrating like when you get somebody new that comes into the trade because I just try to put myself in other people's position, and when I look back on the opportunity that I was given when I started at the commercial plumbing company, which was actually with Zach, um, because I met him at a sober living house. I actually met him in a rehab center when like he was like fucking sleeping with his boots on and shit. And when I met him, he didn't like that's where I met him.
Tell them
So,
the story.
uh,
Just tell them the whole story. Thanks.
well, in like so
Thanksgiving
in like a
2017.
2017. I mean, I'm just like that. I don't know. I didn't have like a career choice at the time. But anyways, there's a thing in like a sober community where you go and like around the holidays they have these things that they'll have like speakers go around the clock for like 24 hours. This one was at around like Thanksgiving time. It's called an Alcathon. I know that that sounds ridiculous, but that's what
alcohol.
they got the
Nice.
Alcathon, yeah. And they do these slots where like, since it's 24 hours, like I got asked to speak at like a 3 o'clock in the morning slot because that's not what no one fucking wants. So like when I went there, I was just like, yeah, I'll go and do it, because just like going and convenience myself, hopefully help somebody, which this is the whole thing. And this has like been the whole story of my whole life experience is like, it's like whenever I don't want to inconvenience myself, when I just want to like live comfortably, dude, that's when it's like stuff doesn't usually go right for me, because that's where I met Zach. And he was just somebody that, I spoke and he raised his hand and shared after. And he's like, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to get my son back in my life, blah, 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 blah. And mind you, like he's at like coming off the streets, like, John, like, whatever, on the verge of death. So, and the thing is with, when I meet these like people in recovery, especially new, it's like, just the statistics and just based off my experience, you don't really see anybody like kind of go up to that next level and do with what's necessary to change their life, and like kind of do like the necessary work with like the spiritual work with God. That's like, that's just necessary, you know what I mean, to get like that whole process of, detaching you from the ego, and you actually get the experience. What I consider in, with what I call experiencing God. And so I just thought I was never going to see him again, but I ended up being like his sponsor at the time. And he had a job at a like a commercial plumbing company in the area where he's in Oklahoma now. I'm still in New Hampshire, but at that time, the first day that I showed up there, man, it's like I saw like with the type of like, and right now it's like now in my current experience, I look at it and it's like normal to me, but like at the time it was abnormal to me to like see people be able to provide for their families and like sort of be comfortable and like actually be doing like, and this was like real, like with what people would consider like real plumbing, you know what I mean? It was new construction, like they were building stuff up from the ground, from the ground up, like doing like big mechanical and plumbing projects. And and that's where I was getting to the point of, it's so frustrating when I go and, I try to work with someone new. It's like the same thing with, like how I just described, like finding someone that's trying to get sober. It's like the same thing in the trades. It's like I put myself in the position of like the desperation that I had, because that's what I saw it was for, is like, I know it sounds cliche, but it was like the materialistic things that like attracted me to the trade. Like, they drove nice trucks, they were doing cool stuff, and, they were able to provide for their family. So, from like that very early on, it's like, I devoted like my whole life to it. I put in all the overtime that I could, and, I surrounded myself with people like Zach, and I got to meet a couple other like really good, like seasoned plumbers. And, and they always took me under their wing, like open arms, like, but this is like I'll get off track like a lot when I'm talking, but like you also gets like that grumpy old shithead that's just like fucking screaming at everybody like fuck them, dude. I always told them, like, I'm like the advocate of like, fuck that dude. It's because, and this is gonna sound egotistical, but there's a specific guy that Zach used to work under, and I saw him yesterday, and he was riding bitch in a different plumbing company vehicle. And I was with Aiden the other day, and I told Aiden, I said, you know what, fuck that motherfucker,
Did
dude.
you
I don't
wave?
see the jealousy. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you know the wave Aiden does. Yeah, he did that, but. You know, it's hard to find somebody, and that's with what I try to describe it as, is like, you know, this is like an opportunity. Like, so many people want to be like, oh, I want to, like, you know, get rich or blah blah blah. It's like, I don't want to say me personally, but I really devoted and I really took it serious. I'm not saying I know everything, but you know, from that point on, that's with what I wanted to do, is like I wanted to start a plumbing service at some point, and everything that I do, it's like I do things impulsively, and that's with what I did with this. And like you know, then on the back end, I'm just like kind of, you know, feeling things all out, you know, as I go. Like my current experience is, just to be full transparent. It's like, dude, it's like getting to that point where like now the work keeps coming and coming and coming, that it's like I can't take on all of it. And it's not like that I'm saying yes to everybody, but it's crazy when I go to like kind of give you like that fuck you price on top of something, and then I still get it anyways, and then
Yeah.
trying to keep everybody happy. And it's like I'm still doing like sometimes like those working past midnight and shit. And it's like, for me, I'm gonna be fucking smoked by the time I'm 20. I just turned 29. By the time I'm 35, dude, I'm gonna be fucking dead, dude. You know?
Well,
It's true.
let me say this to both you guys. I have spent whatever. I don't know if I've ever revealed this, but I've spent a lot of time working with people in those rehabs. I'm not in recovery or anything of that. I've lived a very uh, clean life for thanks to my parents type of thing. I had a very wonderful upbringing, but I've spent a significant amount of time working with those fellas, and I'll be perfectly blunt with you guys. I have never seen one make it.
Yeah.
Like they make it for a couple of months or 6 months, or things are going really well, and then some stress hits them and they're
Right. Well, that's the thing.
obliterated.
It,
So
it really
congratulations to
takes.
both you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're talking
Thank
like
you.
living
Yeah.
proof of it, and there is a solution, there is a way out, but it's whether or not somebody wants it. You know, what I find most that happens, and because I hire guys that are in recovery, one of the things I find is like the grass is greener always on the other side, so they never stick with anything and actually water their own grass. The say I'll just speak for myself. I took me 9 times to get sober.
Yeah.
I had nine times. It took me all through my 20s, and the thing is I always thought things were going to fix me, right? Like if I only had money, I'd be all right. If
Yeah.
my wife would a certain way, I'd be okay. If I had this kind of car, I'd be good with this type of job. And like none of that's true. Like it's all in here, and really
Yeah.
it's about changing how you think. If you think you can and you think you can't, you're right. You are absolutely correct. The thing I believe in my head, I do all the time, is like I envision what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I never knew I was going to be running a construction company putting in $100,000 utility lines. I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
but like I believe in myself that I can figure it the fuck out. I do, and then try to plant those seeds in others that they can do the same thing. You know. So, I mean, what I was getting at by like downsizing and stuff like that is to really refocus on really what my purpose is of going out on my own. My purpose is to be able to control the company in the way I want to control it, and be able to have the time to do the things that are most important to me. And the most important thing to me is to help other dudes do what I've done. And whether you've been sober or not been sober, it's the same. It's the same hurdles. If you want
No, it
to
is.
if you want to run a company, you need to get a mentor, and you need to get like you don't have to go through the same things that I got to tell you how to avoid that. Leon calls me all the time about different situations that, like, yeah, man, I had to hire a bookkeeper, I had to hire a secretary, I had to hire,
Yeah.
an accountant. I don't have the answers, right? So I get the people around me that do, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's very similar to that, to sort of that recovery program. You're like, okay, I'm here, I'm ready to learn. Give me it all. Tell me what I need to know, because I don't know. And I've been doing this for 40 years. I don't know all the accounting. I don't know all the angles of what, as you're finding out, or will find out, the tax code changes every
oh
year.
yeah,
So where you're like, holy fuck, I caught away with that last year. Not this year, bro. Not this year. You
Yeah.
got to come up with a new angle. So you got to have those people in your life, mentors, all the way along, to help you sort of avoid those
absolutely.
pitfalls. And
So
and, and go ahead.
these drug addicts, are you seeing them in church? Because I see that you post that. You're Christian, right?
You talking to me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you see them? Yeah. No, seriously. No,
Me?
I get that. Yeah.
Me? Yes. You
We,
can
we, we,
you can
we,
label me that if you want. Sure.
no, I mean, I just see you post about it. I was just trying to be respectful,
No,
but
yeah,
no.
for sure.
Um, was there something that brought you like to that point, or were you raised that way?
I was raised that way. My parents were very much involved in those circles. The interesting thing, like, which is true for everything that you said and everything that we ever talk about, there comes a point in your life where you have to decide if that's the path you want to be on. You know what I mean? Like everybody,
Yeah.
just because daddy said this is the way life is,
Hmm.
doesn't mean that that's the way life. Like you gotta find your own path. You got to find your own fire, and have those experiences for yourself,
Right.
so you know for yourself. And I've had some significant experiences in my life that have sort of led me to the conclusion that there is way more to this life than
Yeah.
gluing pipe together or hanging out with the dudes or whatever the case may
Gluing
be. Like there's so
pipe
much that we
together.
don't know,
Yeah.
and and I'm not conceited enough to go, no, I haven't figured out this is right or this is wrong. But there's certainly higher powers than what we um, that are sort of uh, around us, whether we acknowledge them or not. That's part
Right.
of that recovery program for sure. And like you said, I think that's what they call it. They don't necessarily call it God, but they're just like there's a higher source, there's a higher power, there's higher strength that you need to sort of tap into,
For sure.
um, to to navigate this crazy ass life. I was just talking to somebody today. Like life is unjust, it's brutal, it's unfair. Just because you put all the work in doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. You got to get the tools and the people around you to make that dream a reality.
Oh,
I,
absolutely.
I tell I tell people like if they like they want to go out on their own, want to go out and start a business and stuff like you got to love to be punched in the face
You
because
do.
you literally you'll get punched in the face in the morning, you'll take care of
Yeah.
that problem, and then you're gonna get punched in the face again because now you are the guy that the buck stops there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What is something? What it like when a guy messages you and says, "Hey, I want to start my own company." Like, what do I need to know? What do you say to these guys? What's your advice on running out and starting your own company?
You know, uh, my very first question is, do you really? Do you really know?
Yeah.
What do you think that means to you? Like,
Yeah,
what does it mean to run your own company? Does it mean money? Does it mean freedom? Does it mean you you're empowered somehow, like some sort of ego thing? Like, what is it that's appealing to you?
yeah,
Because all those things aren't coming to you
no,
day one. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to put in some significant time and effort, um, to experience any of those things. Because just like you say, from day one, I do find it, because the trades are so good right now. Like there's a lot going on, and it's a great place to be. I do find, I don't know how to say this other than, I do find there's a bit of a false sense of security. Like, listen, I started my company. I'm fucking busy. Bing, bang, boom. We're going all over. I'm like, yeah, but the trades in my world up here, the trades haven't been slow since 2008. You know what I mean? So we're on like some, whatever that is, 16-year run of just everything smooth and great and great.
absolutely.
My When I was working for my dad in the 80s, like everything, the whole bottom fell out of it. Like there was no work for nobody, and it
Mhm.
was a really tough time. So that's, I don't see that happening just because uh, there's nobody going into the trades. And if you're good at what you do, you will always find a job or find something to do. And that's what I learned from my dad when sort of all his connections dried up. He's like, I know how to work. I'm good at what I do. And frankly, we as a family never really noticed a blip. You know what I mean? Like he just worked harder, and and everything was fine at home. And so we've had a couple of those experiences myself where you're just like, oh, not that there's been problems with the economy, but some, if you're doing, hundreds of thousands of dollars and some contractor says, sue me, and you're into them for $250,000.
Yep.
I mean, that's gonna, like you said, it's gonna punch you in the face and in the balls at the exact same time. How are you gonna?
You're gonna be fucking puking at night.
How are you gonna make that work? Like, you're gonna go to bed and go. I mean, there were times where I'd go to bed on Wednesday night and say, I gotta find $75,000 by Friday, or I'm gonna bounce everybody's fucking payroll.
Yep.
And by hook or by crook or by the grace of God in heaven, I would get $76,000 by Friday and pay everybody, and I'd have $800 in the bank.
And you got $800 paycheck for the week. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's just because you go out on your own, it's not a get rich quick deal.
It's not.
Like, this is all stuff that, like, I think really needs to be said. I mean, it costs a lot of money to run a company like mine with the equipment and the trucks and all that kind of
crazy
a week.
Like, you're dealing with $250,000 pieces of equipment.
We have
$500,000.
We have 3 excavators, 2 loaders. I got big diesel trucks and trailers. Like, yeah, they're no joke.
Yeah.
You get out and you start hydrovacing and all that kind of stuff.
Do you own hydrovacs?
I don't own a hydrovac. I rent it right now. We looked at buying one, but I don't. It's so special.
They're $1 million.
Yeah. I looked at buying one, like one of the 800 series, one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But down here, you have environmental stuff too that you have to watch out for. So, like on these bigger commercial jobs, if I can dig it, I'm gonna dig it. If I need to rent it for the day for utilities, I mean, you've seen videos probably on my page. Like, we'll use it, But it's about making those strategic decisions. But guess what? You're making those decisions, and you're gonna own that debt.
That's the problem, right? Everybody wants the freedom to make the choice. What happens when you make the wrong choice? You don't get to go talk to that dude over there, man. It's his fucking fault.
There's none of it. I roll up on a job and there's a problem. It's my problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's my problem and I got to take care of it. You know what I mean? You hit a city water main next to a medical facility, and now you got to shut down the whole entire street on a 6-lane highway. Like, that shit happens. Like, it's all about the end of yourself at that point. You're no longer an employee where it's like, hey man, we just hit this over here. You are the
We're gonna be at the Wendy's waiting for you to show up, bro. Because there's nothing we can do.
It don't work like that. And every gallon of water you're paying for,
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a reality thing. I mean, there's good positions in companies. Like, if I could find a guy right now that knew his shit and could walk in and start running projects, I mean, he could make as much money as that I'm making, and I'm running the company. I wouldn't, because I would pay that for a guy. But it's really super hard to find a guy that's dedicated like that, where he doesn't want to worry about the business side of things. He just wants to come in and work. It's hard to find those people.
I was listening to what's his name? Dennis the Apprentice.
Yeah.
And he was going, and I, this is no shade on Dennis. He might even be in here, but
he is.
He was saying, there's lots of great, apprentices out there that we just need to change our mentality to bring them on board. And I, to be perfectly blunt, have a problem with that. I'm like, dude, I hired 75 dudes, when I was running my little show, and I would hire 4 of those guys back because the rest of them were 50%ers. That's if they gave me 50% of what I was putting into the business, then I would keep them around. If it was less than 50%, you're gone. 4 of those guys were maybe 70%ers. I'm like, dude, you're like outstanding because you're willing to give me 75% of what I'm putting into this. You are awesome.
One thing I would say to a guy that's working for a company right now that's thinking about going out, put yourself in a position within that company and treat it like you're running that company and see if you like that. If you are the guy that's called every time there's a problem, if you're the guy that's staying late, getting there early, and you run that for a year like that, and you can handle doing that, then start looking at going out to start your own company.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take a lot of money to do it because there's plenty of work out there for you to do it. I mean, for you to go pick up a couple of jobs, you can do it, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that willingness if you can't do it now in the position you're in and act like you run the company that you're working for with respect. What I mean is on the job, you are the go-to guy. If you can't do that, then you know you're gonna go out. You could go out there and struggle. I mean, I've seen guys do it where they start playing and they're struggling. They're taking deposits on the job that they're gonna do in 2 weeks to pay for now.
Yeah. Peter pays Paul, right?
Yes, I said when I started this out that I'd never do that. I'll go without a paycheck before I start doing that. You know, it's, I mean, when I get deposits, it goes into a drip account. That drip account bleeds out as the project's progress goes on. Like that ain't my money, you know? And that's the mentality you got to have. But when you get a check for 70 grand as a deposit, that ain't your money. That doesn't mean you go buy a cycle. You're not going to
but lots of people think that though, right? They're like, yeah, man, new tools, new whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go on.
Get a motorcycle, go drive it right into a tree.
All kinds of vehicles. Like I'm reinvesting in the company. You know, my partner and I, Sam, you see him, you see him on the videos with me. He's old school. Like we, you know, he runs the job sites. I run the business side of things, and like we make decisions based on what our goals are in the future. Like this is not going to pay out tomorrow. You know, it's going to pay out if we're acquired or if we, you know, as we go on, we're making smart choices with the money and investing in things that hold value, you know. And the biggest thing is building a brand that stands for something. You know, I want people to know that we're going to come in and take care of their problems. That's why we're a solutions company. We're not just a plumbing company, you know, because we do the gamut.
So how did you run into, I've never done the partner thing on my plumbing side because I didn't want to sort of relinquish any of it, which has its price as well. You know what I mean? There is no one to talk to. There is no one to sort of bounce things off of. How'd you find your guy? Just somebody that you knew, or how did you find him?
So there was a company here in Tulsa, Oklahoma that when I first came out here, I was kind of done. I was going to take some time off and stuff, and I couldn't sit around. So I got on Google and looked for, you know, the guys that didn't have a bunch of reviews and stuff, and went and worked for a guy. And when I went there, I acted just like I just told you. You know what I mean? Not like the buck stops here. Like I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to look for the jobs and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I met this guy Sam at a bid meeting, and he was a digger. You know, he's a guy with an excavator and a loader, and like I started bidding on all commercial. It was a residential plumbing company where you fix kitchen sinks and replace faucets, kind of when I first got there, and we just went full commercial at that point. You know, we landed contracts with like Dutch Brothers Coffee, Arby's restaurants, McDonald's, all that. And this guy would come dig. This guy would come in and dig, and he and I built a relationship. We started doing like side projects on the weekends, you know, where we'd pull, you know, 24-hour shifts roughing in buildings, and this dude would be digging and learning to plumb. And we just clicked, you know. But our business agreement was not on a handshake. Like literally our expectations of each other were written down on paper. We have a 27-page contract of how everything's operated, how we release money, what kind of money we need to have in the bank, how our funds were going to be. Because that's the biggest thing that people fight about is either having too much money, okay? Yeah. Or not having enough money are the two biggest things that happen. Yeah. And that's normally what it boils down to with any situation. It's normally something off the money. So if you can take care of the money out of it, then you can have an argument and come back to the table and figure out a solution to the problem. Yeah. And that was one of the big, because people warned me about partners. They warned me, you know, but I wouldn't choose somebody different to be my partner. You know what I mean? Like it works out great. We both have our own lanes, and we make sure that we, you know, we'll come together and talk about things, but really we stay in our own lanes and just keep it going, you know. But that's how we met. We met at a bid meeting, man, and just built a relationship over the course of 2 or 3 years. And then it just happened where I could buy into I grew a company and he had a company, and we just merged together, which was complicated. But yeah,
it is. I mean, like you say, if you got a 20-page legal document, then that's, I mean, it's more complicated than a mortgage, really, or a rental agreement. Like there's a lot of moving pieces in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, but there was, I mean, we had, there was a, we have a tier before we can pull. We take a paycheck like a W-2 employee, you know,
Yeah,
we pay tax and all that, and then the business itself has to be at a certain point before we pull like bonuses out of the company. So if we don't hit that mark at that quarter, we're not pulling bonuses.
yeah.
And most people would pull out at that mark, but it costs so much, and we don't know what we're going to hit into for turbulence in the marketplace and all that. I mean, some of these jobs we do, we got to put up money and wait 90 days for it. That's a real.
That's the problem with the big commercial, right? Because you're
Yeah,
dealing with the big boys and they ain't giving nothing away.
yeah. That's
And so they're
real.
like, yeah, they're going to cover their ass 3 times from Sunday and make sure that what you did actually works, and then they'll pay you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The more stress you take on, the more liabilities you take on, the more money you're going to make. And I talk about like niche businesses within the plumbing industry. There's a lot of niche stuff going on within the plumbing industry that you tap. If you're the guys doing it, like we're IDP, which is infrastructure development for Tulsa, and there's like 50 guys that have
Yeah.
that qualification. You know, so we can do city water main extensions and water taps and sewer line taps and stuff, road cuts, all that kind of stuff. You get into that, they have to look at that list and pick somebody on that list. You're
Yeah.
not going to be going up against Joe in his pickup,
Yeah.
who doesn't have a license. You know, you're going to go up against real dudes, and it's going to.
Which is, I think, is great. Like you say, those are the lists that you want to be on, and then like I suspect that you have done. You know, you've made a name for yourself, and you know the contractors that you work for appreciate you. And the next bid comes up, they're like, I ain't looking through the list. This is who I want to work with, type of thing.
You got it. That's exactly how it happens. That's exactly how.
Yeah.
And you know, there's probably room in every area that's listening to us right now for guys just like me. You know, it's but getting a guy that can actually. Oh, actually, I want to bring up one thing. Like these plumbers going and digging and renting a hoe from Home Depot. They want to check their insurance policy. I just had a guy that was only insured to 24 inches and he was digging down. He was at like 4 foot or something like that and ripped out a fiber line. That will be a real wake up call for you.
It will be a wake up call.
It's a real wake.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a big
Leon's just laughing.
yeah, you get a bill for a fiber line that's inch and a half fiber, and now they got to pull a mile of fiber, and it's going to cost you $750,000. Don't think they're going to wait for that money, you
No,
know. And those
no, no.
those
They'll take your house.
exactly those are those little things that you don't know until you know, and that's not a good way to find out about it, right?
No.
So
Exactly. So what's the plan, Leon? What are you going to do with yours? We know what Zach's doing.
So me
I'm
and
I
Zach. Oh, look, Garrett! Right when I say that, fucking Garrett shows up. What a piece of shit. No, me and so I'd love to go out to Tulsa and help Zach with his plumbing division because he obviously wants to branch out. That's like, I think, right, that's like your background. That's where you're seasoned is plumbing, but he's out doing all these big jobs. So we talked about obviously going out to Tulsa and, I'd be like on the forefront of, running plumbing projects and everything. But I mean, I don't know. It's just my family. I got a wife and 2 kids, and we went out there for his wedding, and my wife's like super picky and she doesn't want to live in Tulsa. But the whole thing is, this is just going to be like, temporary. It wouldn't be like a permanent thing where I'd probably be there, 10, 20 years from now when I'm, older. But, I'm at that point where I'm just trying to, figure out where it's going to go to next because, like I was just saying, it's like me acting as like the sole proprietor, like I am my business. It's like I'm seriously just all set with it. Things need to be delegated and we need to grow at, some rate. And, you know, it's either getting in with someone else that's either hiring someone that knows with what the fuck's going on and, delegate certain projects to him and see where that goes to. Plus, there's also another opportunity to merge with a drain, sewer and drain, company down here that someone wants to meet up and talk about that. But they're also on like they're not huge. They have like 3 or 4 people. So, I was supposed to meet with him last night, but things are crazy. So yeah.
Is that sort of the model? Like, it's interesting to me how you guys work in the States, because up in Canada, like I would, I have no visions of ever like moving to Manitoba or BC or Ontario, but you guys, I mean, you guys are, I don't know what you get. Like, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm in
I'll
Chicago, now
fucking
I'm in
move to
Texas,
Canada
and
right
I'm
now,
going up
bro.
to
I don't give
Washington
a fuck.
State.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I hope to end up in fucking Texas. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing over
Well,
there?
dude, that's the
I
thing.
just
And
flew up.
listen,
I
listen,
flew up to Maine to do a job.
brother. Like,
You went up to Maine.
Yes.
oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
flew up.
yeah. I flew him out to Maine to go change out a backflow where there was this huge industrial. It's
Oh,
like
I
the
think I
second
saw that
biggest
one.
yeah,
Like
second
some
biggest
eight
grocer in
inch,
the
was it
U.S.
8 inch or something? 8 inch
Uh,
Maine
shit,
Yeah,
I don't
backflow? I can't
remember.
remember anymore.
yeah. It was an 8 inch. Yeah.
But yeah, that was like a super stressful thing where it's like it would have taken me a lot longer and it would have like added like a lot more stress, and that's like the whole thing, man, is like working with, like you were just saying, it's like you don't have really anybody to bounce anything off of. Like, say if you're out in the field working, if I had that one person, I just feel like it would elevate. Like, yes, I would have to maybe take like a lesser. I already do, man. I mean, I don't like all my money just goes back like to doing stuff with my family, and then I just go out and put it right back into the business. But I mean, I'd be willing to like take with just eat shit for. I ate shit for fucking ever, dude. It's like I don't get really care about like. It's really not like
You hear that, Zach?
it's
You don't
about
have to
building
pay him
something.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's the thing. It's like, but
You just gotta, you just gotta sweeten the pot for the bride.
exactly. But just to like I don't know, just to be able to build something that's gonna be like a well-oiled machine at some time, as to where like I can kind of step back at some point and delegate and do, because I love with what I do, but when it's overload, dude, I don't love it. I don't love that at all.
I, I don't know if I'm gonna say anything that's, all that comforting to you. Like I say, I've been doing, I've been in the plumbing trade for 40 years. I've run my own company for 28.
Yeah,
And, I will honestly say probably the last 2 years of as my boys have sort of taken the reins of lots of things, I finally feel like I have, that what you're talking about, that work-life balance. I'm like, you know what? I'm taking Friday afternoon off. F you. I'm going to go work with the bees or the chickens or the goats or,
right.
do whatever. And that was never, when I had all those dudes, it was never an option because there was always a problem, right? Even a Saturday, a
100%.
Sunday afternoon, because we, had, so many contracts. There was always three guys out on the, doing something, and one of them would either run into a problem or f something up, or like it was just never
Yeah,
ending. And then when I let everybody go, like sort of playing catch up as I was deciding who I was going to work for and who I wasn't going to work for. If you owed me money, if you were over 90 days, I cut you instantly. I'm like, dude, we're done. As soon as you pay me, don't ever call me again,
right.
because I'm not dealing with your shit
Yeah.
or your
Well,
excuses. And
that's all.
so that,
Yeah, 'cause I get
yeah,
so super obsessive over shit like that.
yeah. Well, it's like you say, it's there's a lot of money on the street. You know what I mean? You got
Yeah,
those kids on the street. You're like, oh, like that's stressful. Like, where's that one of those kids coming home type of thing, right?
right. Exactly.
So I
Those
don't.
kids coming
It's true though.
It
That's how
is.
I feel
That's a
about
good
it. I'm
way
like,
to
dude,
put it. Yeah, I never heard that.
there's a
Yeah.
fucking lot of dough out there that I need coming back here. So I don't know. And I guess that's part of my what I'm trying to sort of convey on my stupid page, I guess, is like, listen, this is work. It's real. This will sound, whatever, uber masculine, but it's real man's work. Like, you are fucking working nonstop. It's physical. It's hard. Both of my boys have recently gotten married, and it's interesting to see their dynamic with their girls, their women. When I say, yeah, dude, we're working till 10 o'clock tonight. And, Pete's like, well, I have plans tonight. I'm like, yeah, you're working till 10 o'clock tonight. So
Right.
I'll phone up the bride and say, I'll see you around 11:30 if everything goes well. And that's, it's interesting to see them try and navigate that stuff, but there's no other way to
That's
put
real.
it. Like, you
That's
guys
real.
know,
That's what it
like
is.
if the water's not on, dude, the
You
water's
ain't
not
going
on.
home.
We can't leave.
No.
Like, the gas isn't on. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Like I can't Harry Potter it and zing, zang, zing. Okay, we're good. See you tomorrow. So
Right.
that's that's the message. I think that this is hard work, and it will take everything you got uh, to be successful at it. It will not come easy. You'll earn every nickel. You'll have scars emotionally and physically, maybe even a few spiritual scars that you try and work your way through this stuff.
For sure.
Um,
And that's it, man. That's what's not shown, and that's not what's talked about, dude. You know, there's
yeah,
been times where like I've got like had breakthrough moments where it's like like hiding from everybody and like being like, dude, like seriously, like especially in the beginning, dude. I'm a fucking idiot, dude. Just jumping out of just making brash like just being so impulsive. Like I brought some dude on that was supposed to be like a partner on like a handshake agreement. And the first fucking job that I do, he takes all the money and my license is on the job and I gotta go. And it was a full like it was a full bathroom with a sewage ejector and a full heating system that I just had to go there and eat. And I went in there and did it. But
And
it's shit like that,
who did you call and complain about it to?
dude, I was ready to like, well, that was the
you,
first thing is like,
you.
I got like that first big, like fuckery out of the way. Cause I took everything that I had, which was like $4,000 and just kind of like went with it. And
Yeah.
I fucking ate
Well,
like 10 grand in the
it makes me feel better because I've said for a long time that it's a good thing I'm a man because I have terrible taste in men. Like every dude that I pick that I'm like, dude, this is my man. He is it. And within 6 months, he's either, like you say, he's either stolen from me or he beat his wife or he ends up in a DUI in my fucking van. I'm like, oh my hell, how do I pick these guys? Like
right.
I don't know what's
It's
going
just
on.
nature of the beast, man. I mean, this is like,
I
I don't
agree.
know. It's the nature of the beast. And it's like, I saw a lot of that with where I work, dude. I've seen some of the craziest shit. And it's like, how does this, like, I don't know. It like, it kind of like decreases like the value of with what I'm trying to build because it's like, dude, this guy's got like a full on plumbing license. He's been doing it for 20 years and he's like a scumbag that like shows up to work with a gun waving it around in the parking garage. And yeah, you know,
So
I've seen some
Shout
crazy shit, dude.
America,
Yeah,
America all
yeah,
the
America.
way.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So do you are you just plumbing or do you invest I don't know if it's too
I,
personal, but
I was gonna ask that too.
do you you've been plumbing for a long time. I mean, as we know, like plumbing for your own company, yes, you make money, but like the real money, like I feel like is when I
Leftover
invest
money. Yeah,
in
leftover
myself,
money.
like in what I mean by that is like to get into other ventures as well, like being smart with my money as I get in lump sums. What did you find that as in your career? Have you invested in real estate or projects or anything like that?
So I invested in the ranch where I
Yep,
live,
sure.
and that you know, if I ever decide to divest of this, it'll be worth, frankly, millions of dollars. It's already worth millions of dollars.
Yeah,
Um, but you know, I guess to be perfectly honest with you, I have 5 kids
yeah.
and raised them all, and I was basically a single income house type of thing, and so most of my extra money went to sending my kids to basketball camps and to vacations and whatever the case may be. I did um, make a big investment. We started which is why I was asking about the hydrovacs. Um, did a waste management company
Yep.
where we did front roll, like the roll off bins and the construction bins, and we did that. We did like $28 million one year, and it
Wait,
was
what did you say?
what's that?
What did you say? How much did you do?
We did $28 million. We were the largest. We were the largest
Let's
independent
go,
waste
baby.
hauler in Western Canada.
Yeah,
It was
let's
really
go.
good.
Let's
But
go, dude.
but as you know, Zach, like I had millions and millions and millions of dollars in equipment.
Absolutely.
Like each one of those hydrovacs, we had 4 of them. At that time, they were between $500,000 and $750,000.
Yeah.
We had our front roll, those what are the waste management, those big greens with the forks. You know what I mean? We had 6 of those big bad boys.
Yep.
Thousands and thousands of roll off bins. Anyway, long story short, um, we had a couple of board members because we were that big. We had 8 on the board. We had one guy that his son wanted a raise. We said no because we were like, listen, dude, we're like 3 years away, like you're talking about, being acquired by Waste Management. Like they are already sniffing around. They're going to show up here and they're going to pay us $60 million and I'm never going to work again. Like that's how this is going to go down. Anyway, long story short, those guys fucked us and we had a competitor. I don't even know how to say this. They went to the competitor over the weekend. He had his mechanic file a false mechanics lien, which is a big fucking deal, saying that we hadn't paid our mechanics bill, and he ramped it up to like some $200,000 mechanics bill when it was 20 grand. He actually went to jail for that, for lying. And so they sent out the bailiff and they confiscated all our equipment over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then phoned Monday morning and phoned all of our contracts and said phone budget waste, and they can't deliver, they can't pick up. And it took us like 4 days to sort of unwind all that stuff. But by that time, the city of Calgary had canceled with us, the city of Airdrie had canceled with us, like the dominoes had started to fall, and within
all the publicity it had.
What's that?
Was it because all the publicity that it had? Like everybody knew.
Yeah, it was an orchestrated campaign.
That's
Sure.
To sort of
crazy.
take us down, and they were successful. Within 18 months, we filed for bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And that was in 2008 when that all sort of fell apart. And I don't know how it works down there, but in Canada, once you file, people have like 3 years to sue you if they're part of that lawsuit or to be attached to that lawsuit. And so at 3 years after that happened, I went to lunch with my partner, my one partner, the other partner actually fucked us. And we had a lovely dinner and said, we're out. Nobody, like, we know what the final tally is. We can look after it all. And I sort of divested myself out of that whole thing. And it was a fabulous life lesson of people and personalities and business. And like you said, Zach, not having a 20-page contract of what you can do and what you can't do. You know, we grew so fast over the course of 8 years that we did a lot of handshake deals. Like, yeah, man, this will work out.
It doesn't matter if you're doing a handshake deal with your dad. Like, it don't matter. Like, I don't know if it's your best friend, your whatever, it needs to be written down. Like, I don't enter into any job site without a contract. There's one job that happens for Zanco that doesn't have a contract. There's not one. Yeah. And every single contract has payment stipulation. I've never had somebody not pay me. Never.
Yeah.
And it's about structure. And another thing is about vetting. Like, some customers are not your customer. And that's okay.
No, I agree 100%.
You know, but I don't want to get off subject. Like, I think what you just told for a story is a very valuable story. To be
a fabulous lesson. It's an expensive one.
It is. All my best lessons have cost me big money.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. All my best lessons. And those lessons, I'm not scared to share with people. Like, I was very nervous about sharing on social media about my recovery, about my failures, all that stuff. And everything changed when I went to, what show did we go? The Wet Show. All that changed for me.
With that, I went to the one in 2019 or just before the pandemic, 2020, whatever. So, I did go to that one,
but I think it's very valuable. Like, if people are going to have their opinions no matter what you say, right? Yeah. But I think it is a valuable thing to talk about because, like, as you make this money, you can make more money with the money than you can with, buying a new Mercedes or, all that fancy, flashy shit. Like, I'm so far over that where I've had that stuff and I realized that it doesn't actually make me happy. What really makes me happy is to have that security. And what I mean by security is, like, I know I'm going to be okay no matter what.
Yeah.
Like fucking burn it down today and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay no matter what. And when you get to that point, you take a lot less, I feel myself taking a lot less risk doing that. But going into like investments and all that, like hearing your story about that, like that's huge, man. Like it's shitty how I ended up, but like that's it. That's huge. And like anybody can do that stuff, but it's about being educated and getting mentors to do that. You know, I always have my ear to the street, you know, working on other deals, you know, because that is what's going to actually get you freedom. Because like you said, what we do is hard work. If you can make your money work for you, that's a ball game.
No, I'm with you. It was like there's no regrets on that at all. In the moment, it was super stressful, and there was a lot of stuff at risk. But what I did learn from that is that I can do anything. Like there's anything. You can throw anything at me, and I'm going to come out on top.
Right.
You know, I may not have my $20 million in the bank, but like you just said, it could shut down tomorrow, and I would be perfectly fine.
Yep.
Like my lifestyle wouldn't change at all.
Right. You own that business. It doesn't own you.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it took a little bit. I mean, I guess to finish that answer, it took a little bit to sort of dig out of that hole and make sure everybody was looked after properly as we sort of wrapped up that stuff. So I never really went in hard with anything else. I just focused on, frankly, what made me money, which was plumbing.
Sure.
And I'm not ashamed to say I make a lot of money plumbing, like a lot of money plumbing.
Absolutely.
And so I'm kind of at the point in my life at, you know, whatever it is, 54. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to make a lot of money plumbing and let the boys sort of decide what path they want to take this thing in the future. And you know what? Sort of worry about my little farm and my grandkids and, you know what I mean? That sort of shit.
If an opportunity came up again, would you do it? And what would you do differently if you decided to get involved in another opportunity?
I absolutely would. The thing that the weakness of doing that waste company is I didn't understand that business.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it was just like, here's the money. Oh, you need some more money. Need some more money. Like I'm part of it. I'm at all the meetings. I'm, you know, in the day to day. But my business was plumbing. Like I was still running my 20-man company over here. So you know what I mean? Like that. Plumbing is my world. I know everything there is. I understand the nuances. I have my finger on the pulse. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. I didn't really have that with the waste company, so I didn't really see what was coming until it was too late. Until I was like, holy fuck, what is going on? So if I was going to do something like that again, it would be something I would have to have, you know, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to do a lot of research on that first and dig into that and you know, make sure I'm comfortable with sort of the machinations of that business, and then I would do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally understand.
That would be my qualifications. I'm sort of past the point of like, yeah, man, sure, here's some money. Let me know how it works out type of thing. It would be, no, I need to know what the fuck's going on and
know who you're getting in bed with, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's huge. You know, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these people typing influencers only.
Yeah. So he's asking you this to pitch you an idea that we're starting a marketing agency for influencers, and we want to venture with you, Baker.
Listen, I know a lot about influencers. What's that?
Pay you in tools, though. It's going to be great.
I know so much about influencers. I'm not touching that because that is. I mean, I get, you know, it's hilarious, but I do think my honest take on that is I think it's going to die because everybody knows that it's a commercial. You know what I mean? Like when you're watching the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, if you're watching some random hockey game or basketball game or football game, like you walk away when, like you go, you know, fill up your beer, take a piss, or when the commercials come on. Nobody's watching that shit. And so it's become so prevalent on this app that people are like, oh, I'm just going to skip that. I ain't going to watch that. I haven't got time for that. So I do think those big manufacturers, and I've talked to a couple of them over sort of my little rantings here, that they're at a very, high level, looking deeply into what they're getting back on those returns, and I think they're going to change it up because I don't think they're getting what they think they're getting.
I think there's I think there's value in it, but doing them like a commercial is not the
No,
way
I agree.
the future. Guys that are, I don't know. I'm not an influencer that works off from getting tools.
The only one that I've seen that does it that I respect 100%, and I've said this before, are the Mechanical Hub boys. Like, they're not out there hawking shit. They're like, this is how we use this. This is how this works. On some level, they're subject to the manufacturers and what they want them to do. But everything that I've seen those guys do is fairly transparent, and it's not. This is, I'm going to use this on the job type of thing, in an actual job. Occasionally, you see all those other guys I mean, I don't have to repeat everything I've said on the driveway or fucking out of the back of their van, pretending to press shit. I'm like, oh my gosh,
all right.
you guys,
So
what are you doing?
I didn't know what you meant. I didn't know what you meant by that because you told my wife that you said that he can't see past the driveway or something, and we were both like, "What the fuck does he mean by that? Is that what you meant?"
Yeah, man. Like that. Like,
yeah, man.
as soon as you, as soon as it's like, can you do anything outside of 20 feet of your house, man? Can you? I don't know. I don't see anything ever. It's either you're right there in your van or you're on your fucking driveway.
Right.
So I give them a hard time, and I mean, I guess that's what the point is what we're talking about here, is that if you actually invest yourself in this trade, like bury yourself in it, dude, it'll pay you so much money. Like, you don't need some stupid hot side hustle or my new I haven't unveiled this. We're gonna unveil it here. It's the side rustle. You're just some little fucking, rustling in the bushes. Look over at me. I'm super cool with my side hustle. If you treat this trade right, like you said, Zach, and you're experiencing, Leon, it will encompass your whole life.
Right.
Right? And you will struggle to find the work-life balance between, your family, personal, and work. That's certainly my experience, and I suspect that that's yours and both of your guys. Like, how do I fit in my personal time or the time with my family because I'm so busy?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think it's cool what some of these guys are doing, but like, I don't have the time to. I like to post what's real. Like, I like to post what it's really like, and find people, like the voiceovers and shit that I put on are like people saying actual stuff of like how I believe in things. You know what I mean? Like, how that's what I post.
Yeah, no, I have fun making the content, most times, and if honestly like an opportunity presented itself and there was like an actual like good amount of money on the table, I probably would, make a video for a product or whatever. But for me personally, I just haven't seen it. I've declined, like I've offered like rates and stuff, and it just hasn't worked out for me. I know it works out for some other people, but for me, it's like I don't.
But does it?
After me,
But does it work out? Like, what do you get? Like, I know.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll call it out specifically. You look at the Oatly guys; they're not getting paid. They're not getting tools. They get a selection of free products.
Well,
How many wax seals do you want me to send you? How many tubs of putty do you want, or glue do you want? I'm like, that's what you're swapping your time for? Like, just go buy it
get that.
and install it in real life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I definitely feel you there. I mean, like, if someone's gonna, the way I look at it, like, Leon, I'm gonna talk about the deal that you just right. I'm not gonna say any names, but like, if someone's gonna send you a product to go install, and you're gonna install it in your house, right? You got the time to install this device, right?
What I said to him.
You have all the accessories that you need to buy with this device that you're under contract to make a video on, and then and then you need to edit this video and post it on 3 platforms. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be paid for every second of
Exactly.
and my parts plus markup.
Yeah. And yeah, no, but people do it though because they came to me and they said, "Hey, we'll send you this product," and I said that fucking product adds no value to me in my life or any like it doesn't benefit anybody, and that's exactly what I said to them. I said if I did it, I'd need X amount of money, and they couldn't do it. They did come back with money, but it wasn't. They offered me $900 in a product to install. So what the fuck is that gonna
That's the
do?
problem, right? Like
Yeah,
even if they do that, and I know this as a fact, like if it's you're working, it's commercial work. Like you put in all that effort, then you make your video, and then they'll wait for the metrics to come back to make sure that you just didn't post it and delete it type of thing.
exactly.
And you're going to wait anywhere from 3 to 4 months for that
Yeah, it's not even worth it. Yeah,
that check
it's
to
not even
show up if they're going to pay you,
right.
right? And you got to put in. I mean, I know some of those guys put in anywhere between, because I've talked to them, 8 to 20 hours on a video. Thinking
Right.
about it, crafting it, setting up the angles, doing the voiceover, doing the Zoom shit, all the rest of that crap. And then
Shit.
you gotta set like you gotta
Listen to
set it
him,
up to
dude. P.S. He's a fucking idiot. He said, "But we love water drop."
yeah,
What a fucking
exactly.
asshole! Yeah.
So
Holy
you do all
shit.
that stuff,
Yeah,
you
right.
spend 20 hours of your life, and you're gonna make what? What are you gonna make? Let's use your example. You're gonna make $800, and they're gonna pay you in 3 months. Like what? For 20 hours of my effort, I'm making $4 grand, $5 grand,
Well,
and I'm gonna get
it all
paid.
goes back to the same thing. Is like you said, I could make more money elsewhere. Which I mean, for me and you, it's going out and doing fucking plumbing. It's like I look at it just like that. I'm treating it the same way. If I'm not going to make the same doing this, then why the fuck would I do that? Especially with some fucking someone that I don't even know from a hole in the wall. It's not even someone that I don't
Yeah,
even know you.
yeah,
I can send somebody else to do the job. I can just do the paperwork on it, send somebody else to do the job and make that money.
Right. Which people
exactly.
are doing that too. Yeah. Right.
I do it every day.
Right.
It's about like that's about building that reputation. Is people trust that you're going to take care of their problem, and
Yeah.
I can literally sell them a contract, and I never even go back to that job. That's a place for me to focus my time. I'd rather spend time posting these videos to legitimize what I do and what we're capable of, and that's why I make these videos. Because go reference my Instagram, my Facebook, or whatever, and I literally can sign a contract where I just oversee it and make 10 times, 20 times that amount of money.
Well, like I said to what's his nut, and he's a very, very nice young man, and I realize I'm busting his chops. Whatever it is, Replum is his name. We've had a few discussions in the DMs, all very cordial, nothing caustic or anything like that. But
He's a really
when he's like,
really
dude,
nice kid, man.
I made 6 figures. I'm like, dude, I paid 6 figures in taxes. We're not the same dude.
Yeah.
Like we're not the same dude.
Right, but I mean,
Like it's
I met that guy at the wet show, and he's a solid dude. Like, for being a young dude doing what he's doing is
right.
pretty crazy. I think he's one of the more successful guys on the social media train.
Yeah.
But super down to earth, super humble dude, and we'll sit there and talk to you. You know what I mean? There's some of those guys that think they're
some of those guys
up here.
are fucking weird. Like they
Yeah.
won't, they're kind of
No,
all.
Evan's a really good kid, man. He's like
They won't
Asher
look you
said,
in the
super humble.
eyes.
Yeah.
They won't talk to you. Like they got no social skills other than if I stick a camera in front of them, they'll do their
Right, exactly.
whatever
No,
the fuck they're doing.
Evan just wanted to talk, and he just wanted to hang out, man. And I mean, I wasn't expecting that from somebody like him. I walked into that show expecting we did get it from some people, but all in all, it was good. And especially Evan, but and I think Evan's just somebody that doesn't even he doesn't even look at it from a business standpoint. I think he's just whatever.
Yeah, yeah. This, as I've said many times, all those guys are going to say at some time in their life that old man was right when their little star fades a bit and they have to get back to work. That's
Nice.
just how that goes.
Baker's a bully.
I am a bully.
Thanos, that's what I said. He's Thanos, bro.
That's what I do.
That's what I
I'm
do.
an internet bully.
Hey, on the internet, it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. You know, I feel like the fuck ups get more views than the actual valued.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So whatever your angle is working, right?
Work it. Just work it.
If you
Work it
had
till it don't work no more, right?
Yeah.
if you had somebody new, I know that you said out of 75 people you get about 5 people that you ask to come back. If you like when you interview these guys, how does that typically go? Like what are you looking for? Like somebody that's like brand new, that's in an apprentice, that's maybe like 18 to 21 years old, that says, "Hey, I'm looking to start a plumbing apprenticeship. I saw you guys on Google. You guys got good reviews. Would you be willing to, let me do a he love Leon's laugh, Dennis? Thank you." Because people hate it or they love it. So yeah, whatever. But yeah,
So, I found don't take my advice because, like I said, I have terrible taste in men. But we would ask all the questions. We actually had back in that day, we had like a little um, like a couple sinks set up and a boiler and a set of stairs, and say, okay, here's a couple of sandbags that you need to walk up and down these stairs. See if you can actually carry something with a load, and then you need to
okay.
let me see how long it takes you to put in the sink. If he was a quote unquote experienced guy, he had a boiler that I would disconnect something on and say what's wrong with this, sort of fix it type of thing. That's sort of what it evolved into. But originally, it was like, yeah, okay, you seem like a good guy. We would ask him all the questions, run his driver's license and all that, right? Make sure he's not a criminal or whatever the case may be.
I love criminals.
Seriously,
um,
what would you define as a criminal? Are you talking like
well, sorry, I should, we would,
sex
that stuff isn't sort of
offender?
on public record. So
Yeah,
we would
right.
make sure that he didn't owe his ex-wife money, that he was up on his child payments, his maintenance payments, and all that sort of stuff. His drivers, the only thing that we could really check was his driver's license to make sure that he, had a valid driver's license, that I could insure him under my vehicle and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And within a week or two, we would send him to the nastiest job that we had. You know what I mean? Was it a grease trap? Are you digging an 18-foot trench in a basement that's sweaty? And say, dude, I need this trench dug from here to there. I'll see you at noon. And then leave him at it. If you come back and he's dug 4 feet and he's sitting there on his phone or
Yeah, right.
exhausted, I'm like, dude, you are not going to make this. Like, if I can't leave you unsupervised to dig a hole, then
So say you come back and that hole's dug, right? Let's say 90 days later, you have him do the same task, but then you come back and now he's back on. Now he's doing the whole phone thing because
listen,
because I'm sure, yeah, that happens. You know,
do you want me to quote scripture for you there, Leon? There are diverse ways and unknown means to commit sins. So, you have to stay on top of those guys.
yeah,
And if I have to spend too much time on top of them, then they need to go. You know what I mean? Like Zach says, at some point, you have to take ownership of your own life, and it's your job. Like, you've applied for this job, you wanted this job, apparently, because I didn't come to you, you came to me. And at some point, you got to be able to take some ownership of that and invest in it to the point where I'm not, what's going on? What are you doing? How come this is taking so long? You should come to me. What I expect from my boys is I want you to come back to me with solutions, not questions. Right?
Real.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want, because that's what the thing is. This doesn't work. I don't care. What are the solutions?
Call me
Right?
back.
I'm like, yeah, call me back. There's no hot water. Okay, well, call me back when you have 3 solutions.
Yep.
And then we'll sort of pick out the best one. I'll tell you what the best one is to do. Start there. Go to second. Go to third. If that doesn't work, then either, I'll come down and figure it out with you, or we'll have an honest conversation on the phone about what you're doing. And so it's literally my experience is that
Yeah.
very few individuals were willing to dig in that deep.
Right.
You know what I mean? They told me, what's wrong? Or there's no hot water. I'm like, oh, give me. Dude, I have no idea. I'm like, you have no idea. You're a second year, third year apprentice, and you're going to tell me you have no idea what could possibly be wrong with this piece of equipment. No. All right. Well, I'll come down and we'll figure it out. And then tomorrow we're going to pack up your shit and you're out of here. Because if you're just some monkey that can, press a button, it's not working. It's not working. I'm like, okay, well, we need to move to something else. You know what I mean? And start using some critical thinking skills, which is that's where plumbing's going. People phone you and say, I have a problem, and you got to show up and solve that problem. Having no idea what's going on until you show up on the site and people are like, I need this fixed right now. That's the beauty of it. That's what stresses my kids out and stresses the people that have worked for me out. I don't know what's wrong. Neither do I, but that's why we're going.
Exactly.
Right? And so go figure it out. Well, I don't, I'm like, yeah, no, you got, like we talked about a couple times here, use all the skills you got all the tools you need, figure
just get
out
it
what
done.
it is.
Yeah, just get it done.
And my oldest boy, Isaiah, is becoming he's figured it out. He doesn't know all the answers, but he can say, I think it's this, this, or this. I'm like, it's number two. Do number two.
Exactly.
And I see how that works now.
Right.
And then it becomes a core memory.
The solution thing, for me, one of the biggest things I wanted to do, like as I've managed guys for different companies and all that, is always give everybody the solution. And what you're doing is robbing them of an opportunity.
100%, man.
Because if you solve everybody's problems within your company, you are always going to be that guy, and you're going to pull away from, once again, back to that thinking thing. You change the way someone thinks. Like, I don't need to know what it is. I don't need to research this because Zach's going to come and tell me how to do it.
I'll just phone Zach. He knows the answer.
Right. Yeah.
Or I'll just phone Bob, or I'll just phone Leon, or whatever. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, that's not how this is supposed to work.
It's not. And changing it up, and I really believe this strongly, and be like, to answer that phone call every time someone calls and say to them, well, what have you come up with? What are the solutions you think might solve this problem? Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never seen this before. Okay. Well, why don't you look into it more? Why don't you spend a little more time with it and give me a call back when you have a couple different ways we could go with this. And because you can't run in a company, you can't answer everybody's fucking problems. You cannot be everywhere if you're going to have employees. If you want to be Joe in a truck with an apprentice, or maybe another plumber and an apprentice, like, you can't solve all their problems. You've hired somebody on to come up with solutions.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? And they got to be able to provide solutions. Otherwise, you might as well just do it yourself, because really what you're doing, taking on all this other work, is just pulling on more liabilities. You have insurance on that truck. You have a truck payment on that truck. You have fuel for that truck. You got to feed them and their families. Like, it's about pulling weight, right? And it's okay that you don't have all the answers, but come up with something for me to go off of, so I don't need to go out there, because most things with investigation I can solve over the phone. I can literally walk pretty much anybody through different things, just because I've experienced a lot. I don't know everything, but I have guys. This platform is huge to be able to, like, if I hit you up during the day and I had a problem, I could run that by you because we have a relationship, right? There's plenty of people on this platform that you can send a question to and get a reply pretty damn quick. Like, we have phones in our pockets that there's normally a video.
The whole internet's in your pocket, man. Find the solution for me, bud.
The guy,
and type in the right query.
The guy,
and see where it goes.
Pornhub.
I mean, this guy. I apprenticed with this guy that was like 70 something years old, right? And there was no internet like it was today, like back when I first started. I mean, there was internet, but it wasn't like it is now. And this guy he would always say to me, he's like, well, what do you think? What do you think the answer is? He would always answer my question with a question to make me think. And that was a blessing. That guy was an asshole. Like, I would mouth up, and I would be catching a tool being thrown at me. Like, you can't do that today. You know what I mean? But those old dudes are the guys that taught me to be like, have the confidence that I can figure it out. You know what I mean? Because every time I asked a question, they asked a question back to me.
It reminds me of my dad. That's all he ever said to me. When we were working, I'm like, what's wrong with this? What do you think it is? I'm like, and it would drive me crazy. I'm like, dude, just answer the damn question. He's like, no. What do you think it is? Use your brain. You got one. God gave one to you. You figure it out.
We
It's
we can cheat today. That's the biggest thing is we can cheat.
That's the thing,
You
right?
have YouTube, you have Google, you have Instagram, you have there's videos for freaking everything.
Back when I started, I used to have, you know how those vans have like the cabinet where you put all your files and shit that nobody uses anymore. They stuff it full of their lunch and whatever because nobody has any paperwork anymore because everything's digital.
Yeah.
That whole thing was full of manuals.
Yep.
So we would go to a site and I'd be like, oh, it's a Burnham boiler or whatever the hell it is. I'm like, oh, let me go dig out the Burnham manual and start flipping through the pages to find out what the sequence of operation is. What does this stupid flash code mean? You know what I mean? Like there was no to type it into the internet. And so, yeah, that's the thing that was sort of the differentiating factor that I found was if a dude would come back to me with some questions, then he was worth keeping. All it was, I don't know what's wrong with this, and it was sort of every time you send him to something that was sort of just that much beyond his scope, and he wasn't willing to go that much further. I'm like, dude, he's not gonna lie. And I'll fully admit, I was a hard boss. I was a difficult boss. I had lots of expectations. There is a reason that it was a bit of a merry-go-round, in one side and out the other. Because I'm like, nah, you're
you
a piece
set a
of shit.
standard. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we work, and I like you, Zach, and no doubt you. We work for some very wealthy people and some very successful businesses, and I can't show up there looking like some retard that doesn't know what the hell he's doing and expect them to pay the rates that I'm charging them.
Yep.
Just
You got to believe
work.
You got to believe in you, or at least put on the persona that you believe in you for
Right.
whatever you're
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I say that to Leon all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay that you don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
Go and sell the job, close the job, and you're going to figure out how to do the job before you go to the job.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Because once you do it once, you're going to have the confidence to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's how you create revenue. That's how you create revenue, is to get in those uncomfortable situations. Like I said earlier, the more stress you take on, the more responsibility, the more dependent people are on you, the more money you make. It's just the way it works.
It is the way it works.
So it's all about positioning yourself. If you want to be the faucet changer or the toilet changer, that's fine. It's for those. You know what I mean? But if you want to be you need to be a guy that can go in there with confidence and then believe that you're going to be able to fix the problem. And then the pay doesn't really matter at that point. I'm out on a job now that they've had 3 different plumbing companies out to on a smell. Okay. On a smell in a 7,000, a 7,000 square foot house, and they have a sewer smell. They've paid over 11 grand worth of diagnostic to find the sewer smell.
Oh my God.
No one's ever looked outside the house. I go out and walk by the pool, and one side of the pool, the water level is this far from the top coping. Okay.
Yeah.
On the other end, it's overflowing the coping. What's that tell me? Well, the whole yard is terraced.
Yeah.
It's terraced, and there's a rock wall built, not a retaining wall, a rock wall. And there's 12-foot terraces that go up. Well, I go back in and ask the customer. I said to the customer, I'm like, hey, have you ever had this house piered or had any problems with the foundation? Yeah, we've had it piered twice. Okay, have you ever had a hydrostatic test done? They're like, no, they didn't want to do a hydrostatic test. They did smoke tests. It's like, okay, well, smoke test isn't going to work underneath the slab.
No.
Underneath all the floors. You're going to need a hydrostatic test. Well, what do you think the problem is? The problem is they've jacked the house 5 inches.
Yeah.
And the
snap everything.
And now you're filling up sewage underneath the slab. That's the problem. So now how do you diagnose that? Well, now I'm going to go in with cameras and pull the 7 toilets on the lower level, 7 toilets, and we're going to do a hydrostatic test. We're going to camera the lines. I think just by cameraing it, we're going to find the problem. But we're going to do a hydrostatic test to figure out what the problem is, and we're going to map this place and we're going to cut the floors up. That's you need to be able to look out, like, go outside the box. Like, it might not be inside the place. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is, like, you'll get paid for that type of not like that knowledge. They're gonna pay you for that. You know.
Yep.
They've already spent 11 grand on a multi-million-dollar home. You charging them another 10 grand to come up with a solution. They're gonna pay.
No, they're going to pay it. No, it's true, and that's what we see. I mean, that's why I don't think that we should expect to see any significant slowdown, because there's such a shortage. And frankly, you know, I don't know what the word I've decided to sort of land on is many of our competitors have no idea what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say most, I don't want to say all, but many of them have no idea what they're doing. And they're exactly the type of plumbers that you just said. They're, you know, tap swappers and diverters. You know what I mean? And I can press a couple of pipes together. Okay, good for you. Can you gas test a boiler? Can you like a real boiler, not a tankless?
Do you
I
know
know
how
they
to
all
use
call them boilers now. What's that?
you know how to use a manometer?
Do you know what a manometer?
Right.
It's not a manometer. When somebody
Manometer.
that's the dead giveaway. What is this? A manometer? Ah, you're fired. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
There's a lot of guys. I mean, I've gone on calls for that kind of. I try to stay away from that stuff now, but like I've gone on calls for that, like stuff. The device isn't working correctly. So what's the gas pressure coming in? What's the inlet pressure on for this machine? And you go up there, and the gas piping's all undersized. You know, there's a call in the building for 2.7 million BTUs, and you're only bringing it. Your meter only can do 800. You know what I mean? It just as people just add and add and add, and no one ever checks it.
Nobody ever checks anything, and your appliances are starving.
Yep.
Nobody can figure it out.
Yep. Those are the situations, man. And these are big companies. Like, they're guys that are putting dudes in a truck that have no business being in a truck. And I found a lot of that down here.
Well, that's it. You know, so I was talking about that the other day. Like, how everybody calls their guys techs, and I have never used that. You're either an apprentice or a journeyman. What are you? What is a technician? And I understand that the States is different because every one of your states has a different law on what it takes to become a journeyman. I was talking to Matt there at Boston Monstars. He's now a master. You know, there's a different process for every single state. But you should still, like, as far as I know, like, the apprenticeship program is the apprenticeship program. You're either an apprentice or you're a journeyman, or you're a master. Like, you're one of those three.
Or a contractor plumber. I'm a contractor.
Or a contractor. But I don't know what a tech is. Like, they use it up here. Like, I'll send one of my technicians out. I'm like, we had so and so's technician in here. I'm like, if he's a technician, he's not a plumber.
No.
I don't know what he's doing in your house.
He's a heartbeat with a driver's license.
Yeah.
Let me get to the call as quickly as possible. Get boots in the ground and start charging you.
Yeah.
We'll
get there. We're gonna swap out all your equipment. We're gonna charge you $20,000, and then I'm off to the next one as quickly as we can. Right?
Yep.
That's what it's about. Let's see. You got a couple questions here. Trying to get into plumbing. Freshman out of high school, dude. There are so many opportunities out there.
Get on a plane.
Right.
Head away. Come to the College of Zanco.
Come to the College of Zanco. Journeyman or so you're not kidding? Like, it's legit a contractor?
Yeah.
That's a literal term?
Yeah. So like my license reads contractor. You have to have a master. You're going to pass a master gas test. Then you're going to have your master plumbers, but then you have to pass business and business law to be able to.
Oh, really?
Yes, to be able to have a company out here. So
that's fascinating that it's so different, right? Oh, yeah. Looks like you printed that off your freaking HP printer.
And then Nintendo Switch.
I'm just kidding.
That's how they send them to you. What I normally do is I say I've lost it so that I have a couple of them, because by the time it gets in my wallet and I'm in the sand and all that kind of shit, it wears off.
He's in Oklahoma. Yeah, everything's digital here. All the licensing is they don't even give you when I started, they gave me an apprenticeship card, but now they don't print anything off. It's all digital in an
Ours is
email, and you
ours
print
is
it off yourself.
still
And
paper up
yeah,
here in Alberta. I was talking to a couple guys in Ontario, and they have a list in Ontario of all the licensed plumbers. So if some dude says he's a plumber, you can type in his name
Yeah,
and find out
they
if
have that guy.
it's legit, which I think is awesome because a couple of dudes sent me some, just so you know, so and so and so and so are not licensed plumbers. I'm like, bullshit. I've talked to those dudes, and they're like, here it is. Send me the screenshot. Not licensed. I'm like, what the
the 12th year apprentice.
No, I mean, I down here you can type in for anything from like we have a Class D water and sewer license. You can type it right into a database. You for like septic systems, you need to be DEQ certified. All those licenses are on a state lookup. You
online?
can look, yep,
Really?
you can look up anything, and all the
Yeah,
business,
same
Fascinating.
here. Yeah,
even the businesses, like you can look
the
those up.
businesses too. Yeah,
Yep.
right. You can see if
So
they're in good standing, if they're not in good
correct.
standing, if they've paid every
Canada,
year
Canada needs to get
for their
after it. I don't know what the
renewal.
hell they're doing. Or Alberta does
So
anyway.
like Zanco is what we are DBA, but the company that owns Zanco is a totally different company. It's
That's how you
struck
do it.
yes, because nothing's owned by Zanco.
No, that's
Zanco
not.
owns no, and that's
That's how
this.
you do it.
Yes, this is all the stuff to like teach dudes, man. Like I didn't know that stuff. The accountant told me that. You know, insurance people told me that. So
Yeah. Yeah, you need every level of protection, and that's literally what that
yeah,
is that all your stuff is sort of
the
third party owned, blah, blah,
the
blah.
company that owns Zanco is called GSD, which GSD stands for Get Shit Done Enterprises.
There you go.
The
Now,
logo's printed
now you
on
know who to sue
Realtree
everybody,
hats.
Brand
GSD.
Yeah,
No, that's awesome.
is that,
I love it.
is
I think that's great.
stuff.
it's GSD,
GSD.
GSD, and it's
Get
a
shit.
So it's
southern accent.
like your bedtime there, big man. Looks like you're about to take a snooze on
No,
me.
we're gonna watch Celtics. Let's watch Celtics together.
The Celtics? Are
Yeah,
they playing tonight?
yeah.
How are the Celtics playing?
They play good every year in the playoffs, but then they should. No, they don't play good in the playoffs. They're playing good
Who
right
are they
now, but
up against?
uh, Cavaliers.
Oh, the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
You're in Oklahoma, right?
Yeah,
No, Oklahoma. So
we're
the
in
Thunder
Oklahoma.
are killing it.
Thunder are
Are
killing
they
it.
killing it?
They're killing it. They're
They
playing.
got all the ex-Lakers to make LeBron happy.
I think they're playing. Are they playing the Mavericks tonight? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't watch,
I don't know.
dude. I don't have time to watch sports.
I'll fully admit, I've started watching sports again. That I got a little more time on my hands. And the boys are running stuff. So
That's what happens when you're the big man running the show
that's
instead
right,
of
man.
you're
Exactly right.
now you're running the business instead of the business running you. So you're able to raise chicken
Yeah.
and
I
I'm able to raise chickens and goats and all
we
that.
watch
hey,
UFC a lot. Yeah.
about you have 18 months worth of food supply and all that.
Dude, I got freezers full of stuff.
I said
We're going.
I sent you I wrote a message on there
I
like,
saw that you're prepping and that you know what's coming.
oh, if you don't, then you're blind.
Yeah.
You're just going like this.
You're just hoping. Please don't let it happen while I'm alive.
Yep. Yep. UFC.
Yeah.
Leon, somebody on here likes UFC.
Yeah, I love UFC, bro.
Leon wants to get punched in the face by a
That's
Calvin
why he's
Kattar.
running his business.
if
When you punch in the face.
UFC fighter, it's like Leon's looking
I
for
think
a
he hates me now.
MMA match. So
Well, yeah, prepare yourselves, boys. It's going to be an interesting decade, I think.
Hey, when are
And
we
so-
going live again?
We haven't finished this one. When do you want to go live again?
I don't
hey,
know.
I think you should
Tomorrow.
get
2
involved.
weeks.
I think you should get involved in our bigger purpose, man. Like you said, you work with guys. You haven't seen a guy be successful yet. Well, we're out here. What we're working on is getting a nonprofit going for a transitional trade house, which would be a guy that's been in recovery for at least in a program for at least 6 months, and they come and get involved with the trades. Either one of my like with the electricians or the HVAC guys or the plumbers or excavation or whatnot. And that's something that we're going to start pushing here as soon as we get all that set up. Is we'll have 8 beds.
I fully admit that they don't really want guys like me because I've never been in it. You know what I mean?
But that's the reason to get in it. That's the reason to get
You know, I've had some pushback on that where I'm like, hey man, I'd be happy to help out. And they're like, listen, what's your experience? I'm like, dude, I've had a beer when I was 14 and I think I smoked like 3 cigarettes. And they're like, I'm happy to help. They're like, yeah, but you can't relate to anybody. I'm like,
you don't have to.
Everybody has problems.
You don't have to. Once again, you don't need to be their solution. It's about putting in the input about real life. Like when you take away the drugs and the alcohol, this all becomes about real life, right? Yeah. Like how do you live? And obviously you figured out how to live life and be happy, right? So that's the knowledge you're passing on. And anybody that asks you or tells you that you don't have experience is full of shit. Then they're doing it for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Some of my biggest mentors have no fucking clue what I've been through. You know what I mean? And nor did half of them even know that they're mentoring a guy that was homeless, drug addict, living underneath the fucking bridge, eating out of 7-Eleven dumpsters.
You kind of, I mean, just from my own experience, you kind of, I don't want to say get past it, but, if you're really trying to, do something where you're, then just being sober, you gotta go to a different well. You can't keep going back to the same well. That's just me off my own experience. Is like, like humbly, I just think I've kind of outgrown that whole thing.
It's just like you set up a business, right? You're not going to get involved with doing the books and answering the phones. Like you're going to hire somebody for that, right?
Agree.
Yeah. It's the same idea. Like getting key players in place to really motivate. It's what you do. You know what I mean? You got to have those people that are the hard asses that are going to tell you life fucking is going to punch you in the face, right?
I need to get jelly roll.
Fucking.
No, I agree. And I maybe I was talking to the wrong people, but like I say, most of the feedback was like, yeah, I know we appreciate it, but we need hardened criminals in here to relate to everybody. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not that, so let me know. Whatever.
We need more pedophiles.
No, we need guys. We need guys involved that have a stand, have a firm stand in their beliefs, right?
Yeah.
That have compassion to what these people have gone through, but have no fucking understanding at all, and that's fine because you're not there to relate with them about fucking drugs and alcohol. They're over that.
Listen,
right?
And that's my whole point of sort of this. Even drugs and alcohol, I haven't talked about that much because I don't know much about that, but with this whole mental health thing, like people just sort of rehash their problems over and over and over and over. And I'm like, dude, you're not doing anybody any favors. You're literally just restarting the fight every time you talk about it. Let's deal with your little demon and put him in his cage and let's fucking move forward.
Correct.
Right?
That's another thing too, because you get like a lot of guys that obviously have the drug addiction, but on the back end of things, they have the mental health stuff. And I mean,
that sort of go certainly in today's world hand in hand? Like it's which one came first? I don't know.
I was institutionalized 4 times.
Yeah.
I was institutionalized psychiatric issues 4 times that were drug induced, type deals. You know what I mean? But you took it away from me and I was still acting just as fucking crazy as when I was on drugs.
Yeah.
You know?
And like a great example, like it is powerful with what you went through with like the waste treatment business because, like you were able to get over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
mostly, I'm still raw.
I could see it in your face. Yeah.
But the first thing is you weren't fucking afraid to talk about it. Thing one.
Yeah.
And the other is look at where you're at. You're doing just fine.
Exactly.
How did you do that experience is worth more than any amount of money you can throw.
It's true, man.
It's
absolutely true.
Every failure has something good that comes out of it, and a lot of times it's a lesson.
And I'm sure it coincides with your relationship with God too, probably. But
what's that, Leon?
I was saying, and it probably coincides with his relationship with your relationship with God. With probably how you got through all that.
Listen, I'll fully admit. No, like you say, there are things that have happened. I said it at the beginning. There are things that have happened in my life that there's no explanation for, other than there's something beyond my scope, something beyond what I can see and hear and touch that has made a positive impact on my life. You know, I don't want to go too deep into those waters because there's some pretty significant experiences in my life that not everybody will take well. But all I can say is like there's way more to this life than just what we can see, hear, smell, and touch. There's just so much more. And my philosophy is we just got to give it 100% while we're here and treat people as they'll sound weird coming from me, as kindly as possible, and stand up for what you believe, and it'll all get sorted out when we sort of end up in the next beyond, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Everybody's gone quiet.
Yeah.
No, it's true. So,
Yeah.
well, we should.
All right, gents, it's been awesome.
Yes,
Listen, Zach and I have never spoken other than a couple of comments back and forth, I think, and so I appreciate you coming on. I realize I have a bit of a reputation of being an asshole, but and Ken, I know you reached out a couple of months ago or a month ago, whatever that was, and I think that was awesome. Sorry about the technical hiccup. You'll have to repost this on your little page, and then I'll steal it and repost it on mine.
No, I will. Yeah, no, I will. Yeah, for sure. It's like, I didn't really, I mean, because I saw with what you were talking about, and that's why I wanted to get on here. Just like obviously talk about like the business and see with what we could talk about with God and stuff, because that's really been like the big factor in my life. Really is, I wouldn't be here. Just like you said. I mean, just through a series of events, it's like it was too weird to say that it wasn't like you know like a greater power than myself, just to how everything and where I ended up and everything. And it still occurs to me, to today, over and over again. And I see that you post like every Sunday and everything. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about too.
Yeah. No, it's spectacular. Life is spectacular. My experiences with that sort of side of the spiritual side of things have been spectacular. And like I said, there's no other way to explain that than it's real, and we need to try and pay attention to that and tap into that every once in a while to sort of get us through this crazy life of ours.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say.
Yes. All right.
He's ready for UFC.
Yeah, yeah, that was a flex, bro. That was a fucking flex. I'm just joking.
Good chatting, boys. Have an excellent evening. We'll see you on the Instagrammer machine, and if you have any questions or comments or want to go live, I'm happy to do it anytime, anywhere.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Thanks.